What's going on, guys? So I have a fragrance buy haul, some stuff that I recently bought. A lot of these are 2020 releases. Only one is an old cheapy hype beast in the online fragrance community that, believe it or not, I've never tried. You guys see what all is in the thumbnail, so we're not going to go through them quick. You know, I'm going to try to get through this quickly and cut some time, so we're not going to go one by one. Hey, I got this. Hey, I got that. We'll cut straight to it. I already busted them open. Some of these are supposedly some disappointing releases, and a few of them I've tried. We're going to check them out and see. Stay tuned. So, the one I have to start with, YSL MYSLF. This has been the most back and forth I have seen from people in comment sections, live chats, and so on. I don't know, possibly ever. It's unbelievable how mixed everyone is on this. I've heard orange sucker from the doctor's office. I've heard generic. I've heard so many different things. I've heard bad and good. Bottle's kind of nice, gotta say. I don't remember the note breakdown. We'll spray it, sniff it, and then cross-reference, but I grabbed the 60 ml from Fragrance Buy. It's a complete blind buy. We're going to see. I'm hoping I like it. Well, we're going to find out. I typically like YSL. I'm actually wearing YSL Parfum today. That does smell familiar. It definitely smells familiar. Super mass appealing generic release. That's immediately what comes to mind. So I get it. I get where people are coming from. It smells nice. Doesn't smell bad. I wonder how many people, if I really think back, are saying bad versus just disappointed. Because I could see disappointment in this. But you have to keep in mind, they're not marketing to the fragrance enthusiasts and the hobbyists and the collectors like a lot of you watching this video, and myself included. I mean, you don't have, and this is just a small section of the wall of fragrances. You don't have that kind of stuff and not understand that they're not marketing to you when it comes to these mass appealing designer fragrances. It doesn't like, oh my God, this is one of the better YSL smelling fragrances. It doesn't do that to me. I get this kind of tart orangey kind of smell. A little dry, actually, like a dry, slightly tart orange smell. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So I understand the polarization of this scent profile. It is absolutely nothing special, but it'll get the job done. Let's look up the notes.
A few minutes later.
So, main accord, synthetic, fresh, woody, floral, sweet. Yeah, synthetic for sure. Calabrian bergamot, bergamot leaf. Why do I get this orangey smell? It smells like a strange, almost musty, tart kind of orange smell. That's weird. Oh, orange blossom absolute. That's why I get an orangey smell. There's orange blossom. It's a different orange blossom, though. Not the typical orange blossom note I'm used to. Ambrofix, which I'm assuming is some form of ambroxan. Woods, Indonesian patchouli. So, citrus, orange flower, and ambroxan, woods, and patchouli. I get more patchouli than I would have thought. There's a dark, earthy tone to it, but I get where people are coming from. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not that good either. This one does ride the line. I think this is going to be kind of a middle-of-the-road kind of rating here. I'll spend more time with it, but first impressions rating, I think at best it's like a 6 out of 10. Better than good, because it is a little different. It's not like done to death smell. It doesn't strike me as any one particular fragrance, so I don't get that kind of correlation to it where it's like, oh, they made their version of this, or smells like this with this. Not any of that going on, because if that was the case, it might have got a 5 for just average. So slightly better than that, better than good at a 6 out of 10. I think it's a fair rating for this one. We'll see. I'm going to spend more time with it. If you want to see a full review, definitely let me know down in the comments. Moving on. Another one I've seen a ton of mixed reviews about, Wanted Eau de Parfum. So I'm a huge fan of this line. So, and here's where I may surprise some, and some of you already know this. I'm one of those rare people that says that Wanted Tonic's not a bad fragrance. Stop trusting everybody's opinion online without trying it for yourself, including mine. Get out and try these things for yourself. I like the look to the bottle, similar to the Free Ride limited edition bottle that they did a few years ago. It's more of a matte finish. Love the bottle. I've always liked the Wanted bottles. Great atomizer. Spray it in the air. I don't get a lot of spice. Out in the air I didn't anyways. Let's give that a second. Get some of that alcohol off. It's like a sweet gingery smell. Like a grapefruit-ish kind of sharp citrus smell. Sharp mouth-watering, but also crisp and a little spicy. It's got this ginger smell, but still fresh. There's something, it almost smells like coffee. Like there's a dark essence that, I may be way out of left field here, but it's got like a coffee smell to it. Or maybe that's just a super chocolatey, lightly earthy patchouli that kind of comes across that way to me. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. It's what I'm perceiving here. It's what it smells like. But again, I get where people are coming from. This is okay. It's not great. The opening's not great. This isn't something that's going to be a big seller at a fragrance counter at Macy's, I would think. Granted, I'm spraying it on hand, which is the better way to go. On a test strip, it might do better to sell random passers-by. I don't know. It's not bad. Again, not bad. Just like YSL myself. Let's look up these notes. I'm quite curious because I think what I'm thinking I'm smelling might not be there.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so moment of truth. Main Accord, sweet synthetic, spicy fresh green. I actually get all of that. Very much so. Juniper berry, sage, and vetiver. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit here, guys. There's no way that's the only 3 notes. Just like with the Most Wanted and Most Wanted Parfum, that's not the only 3 notes. It's the most prominent notes. And I'm not saying there isn't sage and vetiver. That kind of makes sense. Juniper berry. There's something else. There's like this gingery, spicy smell to it. Like even spicy is the 3rd main accord according to people on Parfumo. It's not bad. I don't know if I like it better than YSL myself or not. YSL myself's actually getting a little powdery. It's getting better. This isn't bad though. It kind of, because it's kind of strange for being a Wanted release. I kind of dig that about it. I'm actually a little bit more excited about this. This one, I could see people hating this fragrance though. I'm a bit surprised. I was expecting more of Wanted's DNA. I don't think it smells exactly like the rest of them. There's this dark, earthy, could be the vetiver. Vetiver could be that earthy nuance that I'm getting, but I think this is a 6 out of 10 as well. It's better than good. The strange, not exactly like the rest in the line, which YSL myself is its own thing, but both of them don't remind me of any specific fragrances, and that works in their favor to keep them above a 5. Because a 5, like I said, is just average fragrance, passable, which I can see why a lot of people would pass on this. This is not just roll the dice and blind buy it like I did. I'm reviewing them. I monetize my passion. This video is monetized, guys. So with that said, do not blind buy these fragrances. They are designers. Go to Macy's and smell them, or wherever, whatever, Dillard's, whatever you have where they sell designer fragrances. Please go try these, because I can see why people would be disappointed with these. They're not bad. They're just not that great. I totally get where people are coming from. The things I've heard are totally justified, because I'm in line with that, but I can find the good in most, and this is actually getting better. Yeah, that's definitely getting better. YSL myself is getting better as it settles down, but this one is my least favorite Wanted version. I like Tonic better than this. So keep that in mind. So 6 out of 10. Okay, so one that you might find interesting that I've never smelled before is Rochas Man. So why did I get it so late in the game? I wanted to get the Intense, and I'm a firm believer in smell the original first. You can't go wrong there. because I'm pretty confident the Intense is going to smell very much like the original. I believe there's a cappuccino note. Now, I've never seen this bottle in hand before. It's nice to finally see it. This is kind of weird looking. I do like the frosted glass, but it's a strange look. Like a light bright peg, almost. Very interesting choice design. Feels a pretty good quality. Rochas, in my experience, the few fragrances I have, good stuff. So I have high hopes. We're going to go right here on the wrist. Good atomizer. Creamy sweet. A little bit of a coffee feel, but more of a fresh and creamy sweetness. At least out in the air. Let's wave off some of this alcohol. That does have a bit of a cappuccino vibe to it. A little powdery, creamy sweet, bright, like aromatic type of feel to it. A little bit of spice hanging out underneath. Maybe some cinnamon, but if it is cinnamon, it's not much cinnamon because it's not like punchy. Cinnamon can be real in your face sometimes. Very creamy, very pleasant. This is very easy going. I can understand why people have hyped this over the years because it should be like 18, 20 bucks for a tester. A little bit more than that now, but I mean, everything in the world's a little bit more than that now, right? So, not bad. Better than the previous two that we've smelled in this video, I'll tell you that. So, with that, let's look up these notes.
More moments later.
Here we go, 1999 release. Great ratings. Main Accord, sweet, gourmand, spicy, powdery, oriental. I do get a little powdery. Top notes, lavender, green leaves, bergamot. Lavender definitely makes sense. Heart notes of musk, jasmine, lily of the valley, and raspberry. I don't really get a fruitiness, but that can play into the sweetness for sure. Base of vanilla, coffee, amber, patchouli, and sandalwood. Okay. It's definitely creamy, a little spiced, and sweet. That's the main things I get from it. It's very easygoing. It's not mind-blowingly good, but I could see when we had less impressive cheapies 10 years ago in the online community, when this was really getting the serious love, the early days of online reviews, video reviews, you know, I could see where this would get the hype. I could see where this would get like Mont Blanc Individuel hype type of thing. Mont Blanc Explorer. 2 Mont Blancs. This is good. 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. We'll go 7.5 out of 10. I do like this a lot. It's pretty damn good. Now, with that, we're going to slide right on into the Intense in this same segment. Just for comparison's sake, I just want to roll right into it. Darker juice. This is the Intense. Same exact setup. It's the same. The juice is a different color. So this is the Intense. We're going to go on the other wrist. Really is a good atomizer. Wave some of that off. Okay, it does smell like it. It does smell appropriately named. It is a more intensified, like harsher opening to Rochas Man. I don't mean in a bad way. Like it's that much more roasted coffee and spice and like it's like this dense patchouli smell. Dense and thick, dark patchouli. Almost leafy, if you will. A bit, this might sound strange, even a little medicinal. I don't want to say not what I expected because I didn't have a particular expectation because I didn't know what the original smelled like before a moment ago. This might sound strange, almost a little bit of a cough drop smell going on in there too. I know that's weird. Surprisingly, it isn't off-putting to me. Let's pull these notes up.
10 seconds later.
So apparently they did an Intense back in 02. This is the 2023 version that I bought. Wonder if it's the same. So, main accords, sweet, spicy, synthetic, gourmand, woody. Very similar. Notes are lavender, citrus fruit, cedarwood, cappuccino, and vanilla. I still get a patchouli smell. Definitely heavy on that cappuccino smell, but like real heavy. But I get like this leafy, earthy patchouli tone that might be in there. There might be some trace amounts and it's just popping on my skin. I don't know, but definitely dominated by the cappuccino this go round. Not as sweet and creamy. A little powdery, honestly. I think this one's just as well a 7.5 out of 10. I think they're both 7.5 out of 10, very good. And not crazy redundant. Like, if this is something you would wear during the day, this is the evening appropriate version because it's darker. That darker edge usually lends itself to be better evening wear. I think that's the case. So both of them, 7.5 out of 10. These last three we'll kind of breeze through because I've already smelled them. Starting with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. Summer Vibes, this past summer's flanker. Been wanting it to hit the discounters. I waited a couple of weeks after. I grabbed a 75 ml because I don't need more than a 75 ml. Love the light blue flankers. Love the look to this. So we'll give it a light spritz. What the hell? But it's pretty generic for the line. It doesn't wow the way that Italian Love and Forever did. Like, it didn't warrant the kind of hype those got because it's not as good as those. I think that's peak light blue flanker. I think it can only be downhill from here because I don't know how they could top Italian Love and Forever with the grapefruit, and then with Italian Love, the enhanced patchouli, kind of that dark bitter feel with the aquatics and the citrus. They're just phenomenal, the last two releases. I think it was peak light blue. But here you have that sharp, zesty, spiced citrus, that salty aquatic sea breeze type of feel. Very much the light blue DNA present. If you like light blue, you will like this. This is one that I would have never advised to get retail. Definitely wait for it to hit discounters just like I did. Now you can get it for a really good price. I think I paid 50 some odd dollars for the 75 ml that it's in my hand, and I think it's worth it there. It's absolutely worth it. It smells great. It's just not like they didn't go up from the previous two releases. At best, it was a parallel, slightly down move. I don't think it was a big drop off like this is so much worse than those. That's not what I'm saying. I still think it's every bit of a 7.5 out of 10 fragrance. Even bordering into the 8. We'll call it a 7.75. I don't remember what I gave it in my spending a day with it review that I did a while back. I'd sprayed it at Sephora and spent the day with it. I do love the way it smells, though. Just for a refresher, let's look up the notes.
12 seconds later.
Manicored citrus, fresh, synthetic, woody, aquatic. All of that, yes. Sicilian lemon, cypress, and amberwood. And you get loads of that amberwood. As it dries down, it does have the warm, woody feel. Seeing that note breakdown, you wouldn't think it's got that salty sea breeze, aquatic smell to it, but it sure the hell does. That greenery does provide some added fresh spice, more so than a minty tone. A lot of the time, cypress will come across a little minty in these designer fragrances when it's not necessarily a natural cypress oil. In this case, it provides more of this fresh, spicy green feel, and you still get that saltwater, aquatic sea breeze type of smell to it. It's a very good fragrance, hence why I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 7.75. Like I was saying, we'll split the difference between that and an 8. It's a really, really good fragrance. A very good fragrance according to my scale. Bordering great, but not as great as Italian Love and Forever. One of the releases from the beginning of the year, one of the best designer releases, Gentleman's Society, in my opinion. This is a very dense, woodsy fragrance that people swear 10 ways to Sunday that there is still iris in here. You know? Let's take a look at the bottle real quick before I spray it. So the Gentleman line, one of the best. Givenchy does such good work with this line. All of their releases really have been fantastic. We'll spray right up here. Give that a second. Very creamy, woodsy, resinous type of smell. Not quite as balmy and creamy as the Eau de Parfum. Like, I totally get where people are coming from. It does have kind of that earthy, violety type of iris smell. It's not the creamy iris that you get from Eau de Parfum Boissé, Eau de Parfum, or even Reserve Privé. It's more of a waxy, earthy type of smell. Like, relate more to the Dior Homme type of iris. Like, it totally comes across that way. So I get where people are coming from because they don't list it. According to the official note breakdowns that I've seen in 2 or 3 different spots earlier in the year when I first tested it, I had a decant of it. This is one of the best releases of the year, but you have to like that earthy, woodsy, dark resin feel. It's beautiful, great daytime wear. This is a separates from the crowd kind of fragrance. It doesn't smell like everything else. Oh, God, it smells so good. Let's look up these notes. Main accord, sweet, powdery, spicy, woody, synthetic. Guatemalan cardamom and French sage. Haitian vetiver, Uruguayan vetiver. French Narcisse Absolute, Madagascan vetiver. So you see where I'm coming from with all that woodiness, that dense woody tone? Loads of different vetivers provide this hefty woody feel. Bourbon Vanilla Absolute, Himalayan Cedar, Australian Sandalwood. Loads of woody nuance and woody notes. I really think that the way this breakdown comes across, it's what's giving us, kind of fooling our noses and our senses to thinking it's some sort of iris. I think it's that Narcisse Absolute mixing with all these varieties of different nuanced vetivers and woods that's doing it. I really think that's the case because it does fade after a little bit. But again, at first glance, if you never saw the note breakdown, you'd be like, what do you mean this doesn't have iris in it? So, it very well could be. I'm just going off of what the brand officially releases as the note breakdown. But it smells awesome. If you like woody aromatics, this is one of the best they've put out. One of the more original woody aromatics to come out in a long time because woody aromatic, that profile's done to death and it's kind of on the generic side. And I don't think this is generic at frickin' all. This is an 8.5 out of 10. This is really, really good stuff. Like I said, one of the better designer releases of the year in my opinion. And speaking of more generic woody aromatics, why EDP Intense? So I get a little bit of flack because everybody knows I'm wearing YSL Parfum right now. Well, Fragrance World's version, but, well, it's a shelf over, you can't see it. I love the Y line. I'm a YSL Y kind of guy, but this is my least favorite. That's why it took so long to get a bottle. It's not bad. Please don't mistake me thinking it's not good, saying it's not good, because I'm not saying it's not good. It's not as good as literally all the rest of them, in my opinion. And there's some people that this is their favorite. And if you're one of those people, I'm not knocking you. Like what you like. I like what I like. I'm unapologetic about my favorites. You should feel the same way. It's subjective art. It's a subjective art form. Everybody smells different things and has different tastes. I do like it. I do. It starts off really good, dries into a generic woody aromatic smell, like I was saying a minute ago. We'll go on way up top over here. Beautiful atomizer. Like I said, has kind of that fruity citric smell, a little bit of the ginger tone, bright, fresh, spicy, aromatic feel. But it, in my experience with the decant that I have, it transitions rather quickly into kind of sage lavender kind of smell, bright aromatic, lightly spiced, and like basically a cedar smell. Not really all that much musk like some of the others. I think it's named incorrectly because this is not more intense than the Eau de Parfum. It's named Eau de Parfum Intense, but it is not a more intense smell or intense performer than the Eau de Parfum, at least not to me, not in my experience. That's my only real knock with it. It does smell great. It smells great. It's very much a 7.5 out of 10 kind of fragrance. It's very good. I very much enjoy it. I just didn't want to pay retail. I waited because it wasn't so good. It didn't impress me like I love the original formula, the EDT and YSL Parfum. That's my two favorites. I love Live. It's like Y mixing with Invictus. Invictus, one of my all-time favorite scent profiles. So, Eau Fraiche, Warm Lemon. Like I could go on and on. The line's incredible, and I hope they keep going with the flankers. And I don't think this is a hiccup. I just don't think they went up. Just like I was talking about with the light blue flanker. I don't think they went up from YSL Parfum. I think it was a slight downward trend. Because when you saw the name, Eau de Parfum Intense, you're like, oh, God. That's the beast of the bunch. How could it be more intense? They changed it up. It's much more mass appealing, much more easy to wear. This is a better daily wear. That's something I will give it. I think it's a better daily wear than the Eau de Parfum year round. I think this is more of a signature scent. It smells fantastic, I do have to say. It's just not as good as some of the others. Let's pull up the notes.
More moments later.
So I'm not the only one feeling that way. 6.8 out of 10 with 147 ratings. Synthetic, fresh, spicy, sweet, fruity. Juniper berry, ginger, bergamot. Yeah, absolutely. Aromatics, crispy ginger that still gives it that fresh, spicy feel. Sage, geranium, lavender. Loads of aromatics here. Loads of aromatic notes. Cedarwood, vetiver, patchouli. And it's more cedarwood vetiver as it dries. I never really get much of the patchouli, but the heart and dry down are the majority of the life of this fragrance on my skin. The opening's great. It just dries down a little bit more basic than some of the others. Not that there's some deep, complex, luxurious smelling fragrances. But it's very much, if I was to pick one that I think is a great signature scent to recommend to anybody in the line, it probably is this one. That's the thing that I think it has the edge over all the other versions of Y. But like I said, 7.5 out of 10. Even though I'm having some criticisms to it, it doesn't make it bad and it doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm reviewing the fragrance. I have to have some criticisms, right? And I have to have some very positive attributes. And I think the versatility is about as positive of an attribute as I can give it and place on it, because I'm all about the versatility with fragrances like this. Well, that's them. That is the 7 that I picked up in this haul. YSL Myself and Wanted EDP, let's revisit those real quick, because YSL Myself has gotten better. It's gotten a little bit powdery. And that's a good way to win me over. I like powdery fragrances. I always have. That's getting better as it dries. The opening's a little weird. I'm actually getting a little powdery from Wanted EDP as well. That dark nuance hasn't faded. It's getting much more woodsy. That's getting better too. The opening, very strange, but those are the only two that are kind of all over the place. I totally get where people are coming from. Anytime you can, especially all of these are designers. I don't know how easy it is to check out Rochas, but Givenchy, YSL, Azzaro, Dolce & Gabbana, Macy's, Dillard's, Neiman's, all these different department stores, Stage, wherever. If you have one near you, don't blind buy them. Get out and try them. Then come check out some of the links in the description and save some money and get them at a discount. If you've already tried them, you know you want them, and you want to get a bottle. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What'd you think about these 7? Which ones have you tried, and what are your thoughts? Especially you guys that have tried Wanted EDP and YSL Myself. Flood the opinions down below. I'm very curious. I've seen a lot of opinions from you guys. I want to see some more. What do you think? Do you have a similar thought process to me? Does it differ? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let's talk about it. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 7 and you give them a spray now, there's always that chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.